Hello everyone, it's Imran here. Welcome back to another video. So I'm going to react to another Thomas audio reproduction by Narrow Gauge. This was just uploaded last month on February 21st, which is called The Underdog. It's a Green Arrow story it is. So another RWS style story that Narrow Gauge has done. And although this event, a Flying Scotsman and Green Arrow visiting the North Yorkshire Moors Railway together, he says that this incident is based on one that occurred on the same railway a few years ago. So yeah, and it is also his own attempt at doing his own train illustrations. So I look forward to seeing how this comes out. So yeah, so the last audio story I did from Narrow Gauge was the other day, Thomas Gordon and Special Coach. You want to see me check that out? I have it up in the top right corner of your screen. None of you have commented down on that one, and I'm like, normally you guys are coming out when I have a Thomas reaction, and you're commenting down below on the video. But on that video, Thomas Gordon and Special Coach, my reaction to that, you guys have not commented down below on that video. I'm like, what's going on? Where's everyone who normally comments down on this video? But don't worry, it's not too late. Make sure you do leave your comments down on that last video because I was a little bit disappointed that none of you did. But hopefully you do on this one. After reacting to the Lemmy the Bulldog audio story I just did just now, I figured this one would just be something very more simpler. It would. Uh, the link for Imran to in the description down below as always. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into this. This one should be interesting. This is the illustration.
The Underdog. In a yard sat two green engines, one clearly bigger than the other. Flying Scotsman and Green Arrow were on loan to a heritage railway in Yorkshire, and were quickly attracting a lot of attention. They were rarely seen together, and made for a grand sight. To hear Scotsman talk, however, you would think that everyone only came for one of them. "I'll be the first out soon," he said. "Then this lot will be in for a real show." "Well, hopefully they'll have enough battery in their cameras for me," puffed Arrow. Scotsman chuckled. "Oh, that's a very cute thought, my dear little engine, but I think that will be very unlikely. As one of two survivors of a famous express engine, it is I who the crowds stay for, more than anyone else. But I'm part of a famous engine, and I've pulled expresses too. Once in a while, perhaps. Though most only remember you for those dirty vans trains. Not exactly an appealing image, is it?"
Ooh,
Arrow seethed as the bigger engine left the yards.
really, Scott?
In
Really?
the years following his reservation, Scotsman had become more conceited. With him around, Arrow had never felt so small.
Poor Green Arrow.
Scotsman backed onto his coaches, eyeing the fully packed station. He smiled broadly as people boarded, and when the guard's whistle sounded, he snorted off with a loud whistle. "Goodbye, little Arrow," he called. "See you later."
Little.
Green Arrow was red with fury. His crew tried to calm him down. "Unbelievable," he huffed. "He knows I've pulled hundreds of expresses. And what's wrong with trucks? They're just as vital, if not more so, than coaches. Does
True
all my
that.
siblings' hard work mean nothing to him?" "You know what pride does to an engine," soothed his driver. "Don't let it get to you. You've
That's
done
the
your
best thing
fair
you can
share
do.
over the years, and are more than famous to us." Arrow felt a little better, but remained grumpy for a long time. Meanwhile, Scotsman was enjoying himself. He went much slower than he did on the main line, which was off-putting, but when he saw people by the line side, he quickly forgot about it. He whistled and blew steam as dramatically as he could, certain it would
Being a
make for
show-off,
a
are we,
wonderful
Scott?
picture. His driver was worried. "He's really going all out this time," he grumbled. "Let's try to keep him steady before we break something." But their best efforts weren't enough. On the return run, Scotsman found he was going slower and becoming more thirsty.
And he's run
"More
dry.
water, please," he cried, but nothing happened. In fact, things only got worse. They finally crawled to a halt, stranded in the middle of the line. "Oh, you absolute plonker," scolded the driver. "Your injector's gone, hasn't it? Not surprised with all the steam you've been making." "Oh no," moaned Scotsman. "Can it be fixed?" "Well, not out here it can't. We need help." The guard ran along the line placing detonators, while the big engines sulked in embarrassment. Large groups of people began appearing in the fields, not once taking their cameras off the train. Scotsman couldn't bear to look. Green Arrow was still in the yards when the news reached him. "Well, fancy that," he chortled. "After all this cocky talk too." "Come on then," encouraged his driver. "We've been asked to go and rescue him. Let's show him what you're made of." Arrow didn't need to be told twice. He backed down the line beaming all the way, and when he heard the detonators, he slowed down. Scotsman was even more dismayed when he saw who came to save him. "Hello there, Scott," said Arrow sweetly. "Stop to admire the view? It's a lovely day, I suppose, but I don't recall express engines stopping when they feel like it. Not an appealing image, is it?"
Not an appealing
Scotsman
image!
said nothing. "Ah well, I better get your passengers home. Oh, and get you off the line, I guess." He whistled proudly, and he brought the heavy train into motion. In the fields, people waved and cheered him on as he built up speed and breezed through the countryside. Soon he pulled into the station, weary but satisfied. People huddled around Scotsman, seeing if he was all right, but it was Green Arrow who drew the biggest crowd.
Well done.
That evening, Scotsman was checked carefully in the sheds. His injector was an easy fix, and he was assured he would be back to working order tomorrow. "I'm sorry, Green Arrow," he said. "I should know better than to be so horrid to a fellow survivor. You were splendid today, and always have been. That should never be forgotten." Arrow took a while to accept the apology, but couldn't be cross for long. They were soon smiling and laughing over the day's events. Scotsman still took pride in who and what he was, but always remembered he could stand tall without having to step on others.
Yep. That's it. Wow. It's not often you get a Green Arrow story, but I know NWR 1991 has his own Green Arrow story that they're doing in his NWR Flashback Tales series. That episode should be released in August, so I look forward to watching that when it comes out. But yeah, Scott and Green Arrow was a pairing I wasn't expecting, and but Scott boasting about being the better engine, only to get shown up by the underdog Green Arrow. What goes round comes round, I guess. So, yeah, I'm really glad the Railway series and the Talk TV series introduced me to these real life engines because I didn't realize that engines is like City of Truro, Flying Scotsman, Green Arrow, Mallard. Duchess of Hamilton, Stevens rockets, even Tornado to some extent, were all real engines in the real world. Until I found out after seeing them in both the railway series and the television series. And that's really where my love for trains stems from. That's why I'm attached to some of those famous engines, because I was introduced to them through the books and the TV. So, yeah, gotta thank the Audreys and Brittlecroft for that. So, yeah, this was just a nice, simple story. It is not really much to add. It was definitely a nice change of pace from Narrogage's usual stories. It was very similar to Gordon's Tribute, which I reacted to last year, but with Green Arrow it was. So, yeah, there's nothing else to say. Another good slice of life story it is. Nothing too dramatic happening, but it was a story away from Sodor. And the next audio story I react to him will also be a story away from Sodor. So that's going to be exciting to watch. If you do want to see my previous Tom's reactions, whenever it's audio story or train adaptation, I'll play this up in the top right corner of your screen right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit a like with me. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought this audio production I reacted to. Also know in the comments down below what other videos you want me to react to next. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Links to both of them will be in the description down below. Share this video, subscribe if you're new here, ring that bell to get notified. Both new videos when I post the community tab, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!